Welcome. Welcome to today's show. My name is Julio, as you know, and I'm waiting on my friend Roberto. He's missing in action today. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Today, guest is a well-known YouTuber. If you guys not aware, he's in the back room. He's over there. He's getting ready to jump in the conversation. I really appreciate his time to be here today, and let's welcome Wise from a gracious perspective. My
Hey, what's
brother,
going on, man? What's going
hey,
on?
how's it
Appreciate
going?
you having me.
Hey, it's an honor to have you here, brother.
Thank
So, hey, as you know, in these couple days, it's been crazy. Donald Trump is doing big move. He's doing a lot of stuff that not even the left is able to catch up. You know what I mean? So by the time they complain about something Donald Trump did, he's already doing five different things in the other side. Can you give me your take on why the left is so mad at Donald Trump cleaning up the streets? I don't know why they get mad about it. I mean, I should be happy, to get help from the federal government, but why are they mad?
Well, I think a lot of these people obviously suffer from a serious case of Trump derangement syndrome. Um, Prior to him even thinking about becoming president, they loved this guy. They loved him. Everybody in New York loved him. People loved this guy. And as soon as he decided that not only am I running for president, but I'm also going to run as a Republican, he became public enemy number one in their eyes. And the reality of it is this, man. If Biden or Kamala Harris or any Democrat decided to do what he is doing, they would be applauding this. They would be clapping like seals. You know this. But because it's him, they don't want him to get the credit. They don't. But the reality of it is this, man. He is hands down the hardest working president that we've probably had in the history of this country. He's definitely that in the history, and at least in modern US history. And they can't refute the good work that he's doing. They can't refute it, so they just hate. The good thing is though, is that the people don't have to depend on mainstream media for the news and for the information. They got people like myself, people like yourself, and so many others out there that are more than willing to tout the wins. And hey, it's not stopping anything. And it's a beautiful thing. And to be honest with you, man, nobody's listening to those folks. They're not. I mean, you have YouTubers. You got people on YouTube right now doing better numbers than CNN, MSDNC, and the likes. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, nobody's even paying them much attention anymore.
I mean, I'm glad that we touched in on this topic because you've seen people, you've seen Donald Trump moving now to Chicago. That's
Mhm.
his next battleground.
I
And
wish he
you
was
see,
coming to Baltimore. It's right up the road.
yeah, it is. It is. It's not far from you. But now, like, we're gonna touch on that on Baltimore because I want to get your take because I've never been there, but I want to get your take because you live there right now.
Hmm.
But why Chicago is I mean, you've seen the videos. It's nuts
Hmm.
out there. They
Yeah,
call
it's
they
crazy.
call it Chirac for a reason.
Oh yeah.
And you have more probability to get shot or get mugged in Chicago than in a war zone. Like if you go to Iraq right now, you'll be safer than you being in Chicago, pretty much.
Absolutely.
And that
Absolutely.
is crazy. Now Donald Trump is moving to Chicago. He's probably moving there in a couple days, and people already throwing a fit. Not a lot of people, just a few, like the mayor of Chicago. But I have seen videos also like you posting on your channel. There's a lot of people begging for Donald Trump to come up
Absolutely.
and clean up the area.
Hmm.
And now the 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 governor or the mayor of uh, Chicago is throwing a fit, and I would like to play a video, and I want you to react to it because it's not only funny, but it is painful to watch, and how he is fumbling through words to answer a simple question. But before we get to it, this video it is insane. You probably seen it. I will bring it up to you so you can see it. It is funny, but at the same time, it's just like, come on, man, we have to deal with that stuff. Let me bring it up real quick. It is about this weirdo throwing himself on the ground. You've probably seen it. Have you seen this video? You're
I'm not sure.
not sure, man. It is insane. Watch this. Let me see. Okay.
Hey, how are you? Okay, excuse us. Excuse us. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Did I do it right? Did it
This is stuff that we have to deal with. That's the stuff that we have to deal with, and that's like that's in the funny side. I mean, I'm glad that person didn't jump on the soldiers and trying to do some harm, but it is crazy. That's I think that was DC area.
Hey,
But
DC is wild, man.
I never
And
never
I don't
been
live
to
too far away from DC. I mean, Baltimore and DC is literally 30 miles away from each other. They're really
Correct.
close. It's really close. You know, you jump on, I mean, there's a couple of ways to get there, 295, 95, or 50,
Mhm.
depending on where you are on this side of things. But DC's wild, bro. I don't go to DC like that. Although it's close, I don't go. Wizards, people are like, hey man, we got Wizards tickets. I turn them down all the time. Not only because of the crime, but also because it's just too expensive to go down there. The parking's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like everything about going to DC is a hassle. So
Mhm.
a lot of us on this side of things, we really don't go to DC like that. But the crime is crazy. The homeless population is outrageous. I mean, if you think about where the White House is, and you think about Penn Station, or not Penn Station, but Pennsylvania Avenue, 2 blocks from the White House, two, maybe 3 blocks from the White House, it is going down. I'm talking about it's going down. I'm talking about right down the street from the White House. They got a point down to where it wasn't like it at first, but they basically blocked it off. You can't ride past the White House anymore. When I first moved out here, you used to be able to just ride all the way up Pennsylvania Avenue, and you could see the change going up to the White House. You're riding through. I mean, it's just slums, and the next thing you know, you'll see some brownstones, and then you keep going, and boom, the White House. Now they blocked it off because it's just too crazy, you know, so they don't allow you to do it anymore. But hey, DC's a trip, man, and it's a very small city. If you even want to call it the city, it's really they just call it the district, but it's very small. So where they it's not like in like down there in Houston and down where you are, it's not like they can kind of wall people off in certain communities.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it can say, hey, long as they stay down there, we're good. It's not
Right.
like that. Everything is kind of bled out into the city now. So even though, yeah, you may live in a, you know, one of the, more unsavory parts. I don't want to be disrespectful to those folks because there are a lot of good people in these areas that are being held
Okay.
hostage by a small subset of people. But if you live in one of these unsavory areas, it's a walk. You know what I'm saying, for these kids, and there's a lot of it is kids, but it's a walk for them to get to some of the nicer places. And DC is really a block by block, very similar to Baltimore. It's a block by block type town. So you could live on a nice block, but the next block over or 2 blocks over, I mean, hey, you could be, you know, getting carjacked, it may be open air drug market, so forth and so on. And it's the same thing out here. Everything's really compact in the Northeast. I don't know how much you know about the Northeast, but everything's real compact. You can drive through the state of Maryland in 2 hours, in and out. You know what I'm saying? In and out.
Wow.
So everything's real compact, you know, and even for us, I mean, when you think about where we are and where we're located, Philly's an hour and a half away. You're 2 hours away from being up in New Jersey, and you're about a 4 hour drive from New York City. So everything's really, really tight. And you know, it's hard to keep people boxed into communities like you can down south, where you know it's a little more spread out. And the police, for the most part, will say, okay, if we can just kind of keep these folks here, we'll be okay. It's not like that out here. Everybody,
Mm.
it's block to block. You go to John Hopkins, which is, you know, one of the premier colleges, you know, in the country. But John Hopkins, a block away from John Hopkins, students are getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? And they're
Right.
afraid to. You don't go outside at night and things of that nature. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, the same thing happened in Chicago. People are saying like we go on this street in the day, but after
Hmm.
5 p.m.
Nope.
we don't use this street. We go around or
Yeah.
somewhere because they're getting
Yeah.
jacked. They're getting
You got
carjacking.
people that could walk, but they say, nah, I'm gonna take an Uber. They gotta spend money. They could walk somewhere, 2, 3 blocks. You can
Mhm.
walk a couple blocks,
Right.
but it's not safe for you to walk those couple blocks. So they just take an Uber. So they're spending money that they really
Wow.
shouldn't have to spend. which is crazy. And the fact that the mayor is upset that someone is willing to help solve the issues. That's just like I think he was on Joe. He was on what was that? MSDNC, Joe Scarborough, Mika and Scarborough, and he was
About to
pushing
say-
back. Was asking about hey, do you want to see more cops? They're like, would you like 5,000 more cops?
Mhm.
And yeah, he never really answered and said, yeah, we'll take the cops. He was talking about all these programs and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm one of those kind of people that I don't think mass incarceration should be the thing. But you got to clean up the neighborhoods. And I also do think that you got to go and invest in the communities. But what we do know about Chicago, I mean, they spent $53 million last year on illegal immigrants. So, you know what I'm saying? The priority isn't the citizens. It's not his actual constituents. $53 million would go a long ways for,
Oh, yeah.
it would go a long ways.
Oh yeah, definitely. And a lot of people pushed back when he proposed that measure of spending that money. A lot of people came into the city hall and be like,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah, I've covered that. Oh yeah.
that's not good." And they had a lot of people pushing back. And he tried to finesse his way through spend that money. But in reality, to be honest with you, White, so to be deeply honest and transparent, I do not know why people doing that stuff. Like what motivates them to spend people's money on illegals, knowingly that is wrong, like morally wrong. And I don't know why. I don't know who they're trying to please to stay in power. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes it, like even little kids know it. They're just like, why are you doing that? It's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. Well, I think the Democrat agenda is not obvious. It's obviously not an America first or an American first agenda. I think they are part of the globalist establishment. And, and they try to scaremonger and fearmonger everybody about, Project 2025. But everybody needs to go and look at Agenda 2030. Go
Right.
look at Agenda 2050 and see, what these folks really have in store for you if they ever get their way. Go take some time and do some research on that.
Mhm.
And because ultimately the goal for Democrats, that's why if you notice, you're starting to see all these quote unquote Democratic socialists, they're really just socialists. And really and truly, they're probably not even socialists. They're really just Marxists, because you got to think there's two pillars of Marxism. The first pillar is we're going to introduce socialism. That's pillar number one. And if we can get the people, you know what I'm saying, believe in and depending on us with these socialist policies, the next step is communism and full-fledged dictatorship. And that sets everybody up for this one world government that, you know what I'm saying, that we've been hearing about. So that's why strategically you're starting to see it in these cities, where people are really, they're not even being covert about it anymore. They're being openly overt about saying, hey, I'm a socialist.
Oh, yeah.
We want to give you guys a bunch of free things. But the thing is, people got to understand that when they give you something, I promise you they're going to take something away from you. I promise you they are.
It's true. Let me bring my co-host Roberto. He's finally came in. He showed up to work. Robert,
What's going on, brother?
My bad, guys. How's it going, Wise?
Hey, man.
Like your work, man.
Oh, well, appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Hey, but can I chime in with what he just said? I mean, that is
Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, they're gonna take something back, and people think it's free, but somebody has to pay for it. It's like, so it's gonna come out of your check. It's just more inflation on your check. What they're gonna take off on your income. So
Absolutely.
socialism is not a very
let's
good
play the
thing.
Well,
video.
not just the money. Think about the rights. I mean, if these people get their way,
The property.
they want to do away, you know what I'm saying, with our Second Amendment. They don't want us to have free speech. They don't want us to be able to do what we're doing right now. They want the want the information control through mainstream media, so they can only funnel the information that they think that you need to know or what they want you to know. We're thorn in their sides.
Yep.
That's why they hate this side of things. We're thorn in their side.
That's true. I mean,
Exactly.
and that was really exposed when Trump started cutting, when he cut the U.S. Aid money. All of a sudden, Stephen Colbert shut down.
The View.
The View is about to shut down. Then we have MSNBC, other big news media are shutting down business. They're closing shop. They were propagandize us with our own money, and
Yeah.
that is the thing.
Well,
We were
you got to
getting
think, when Barack Obama was in office,
Mhm.
and they basically repealed the Smith-Munson Act, which allowed for the American people to have propaganda pushed upon them. That's pretty much what spurred all of this. See, a lot of people don't know this, but I mean, we've been pushing propaganda in other nations for a long time. We've been doing it, but we had an
Facts.
act that kept it from being done to us. And that dude repealed it. And when he repealed it, all of a sudden, here it comes. And people have been manipulated. And that's why I think there's a lot of people out there that they suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, because we've had mainstream media, for the better part of almost a decade at this point, just pushing a bunch of just false, misleading misinformation. And unfortunately, we have a lot of low IQ individuals in our country that don't know how to think critically for themselves.
And that exact thing that you just said right now is why I became a Republican, because I'm gonna be transparent. I voted for Obama,
You
and
traitor.
That's okay. I think we all did. I think a lot of us did, and I didn't even
yeah,
consider
dude.
myself a Democrat at that time. I just fell for the cool black guy that smoked cigarettes, said he smoked a little weed, walked with a pimp, played some basketball. I was like,
But
this dude seemed all right.
yeah, but you do gotta, hey, you do gotta admit, this guy, I mean, he was cool, man.
Yeah.
It was
He hands down
talked
probably
really
ran one of
presidential.
the best campaigns that I've ever seen, until
facts.
I would say the best campaign that I've seen until this previous campaign from President Trump. Because I think the job that he did and the team that he put
Yeah.
around him, I thought, man, masterful campaign.
Yeah.
Masterful.
Yep.
I think
I
he
agree.
put on a clinic on how to actually run a campaign. But prior to that, oh man, dude, hey, Obama was that. And I wasn't even a registered Democrat at that time. You know what I'm saying? And I voted for Bush
Yeah.
twice. You know what I'm saying? Because he was
There you go,
pro-military.
Mhm.
But I was like, man, this black guy come through and he talking about the he hooping and he's showing he got a jumper. And I fell for all the stuff. But I
Me
didn't
too.
take the time to look at the policies. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Well, and that's why when he's running those policies, the one you were just talking about, and I was just like, hold up, wait, what? So the second term, I didn't vote. I didn't vote because I was at that critical moment when I realized, oh snaps, I'm not a Democrat. You know what I mean? So that was pretty tough for me. My wife was like, oh my gosh, you're getting into politics, and now I'm realizing, like, I took the red pill, and I'm like, dude, here we are preaching this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think
Yes,
we're at a
yes.
point now that if you're not into politics, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you have children, if you hope to have some grandchildren or great grandchildren. I mean, right now, the vote's really not about us. You know what I'm saying? It's
Correct.
really about, I have kids. I have, young adults, you know what I'm saying? That hopefully one day they will get married and they will have their own children. I have some grandchildren and some greats. This is about preserving America for them. You know what I'm saying?
True.
This is what this is about. And when you think about the agenda of the Democrat Party and the things that they want to push, it's just a bunch of wickedness. And
Exactly.
one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to put your head in the sand and let it happen, and then you're going to go to work and you're going to send your kids to these public schools where they're going to be indoctrinated. You know what I'm saying? And your son's going to come home and he's going to say, Dad, my teacher put me in a dress. And you're going to be like, what? This is happening.
Then you're gonna care. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're caring and be like, I didn't even know that this was happening, but you can't put your head in the sand and
Not
act
anymore.
like none of this stuff, you know what I'm saying, is going on around you. You need to know what is going on, especially if you're going to, be a part of this society.
Yeah, exactly. Let's play this video, the one that you mentioned, Wise, about this guy fumbling
Here we
fumbling
go.
to words to answer a simple question. Go ahead, Robert.
Investing in CVI, or our community violence intervention workers. We're also investing in youth employment. This summer alone, we hired 31,119 young people. And in the neighborhoods where youth employment was the highest, we saw the most significant decline in violence. He also can help support mental and behavioral health care services. I've reopened the 3 mental health clinics. We've expanded mental health crises workers all over the city so that when mental mental health crisis occurs, a police officer doesn't have to show up to that scene, but we have a trained professional to be able to address these crises. The other thing that he can help us with is the federal government can help us with. I've revamped the entire Detectives Bureau within the city of Chicago, and now we have a clearance rate almost 77%. One of the deterrents of crime is to actually solve it, to bring closure, to bring justice. These are just a few examples that I know mayors across the country are calling for. This president and the federal government has literally declared war on poor people. I remember a time when presidents declared war on poverty. The federal government has a moral responsibility to do unto the least of these. And that's what we're doing in the city of Chicago.
So let me ask you, Mr. Mayor, those all sound like great programs. I'm curious, would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me everything else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets of Chicago?
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look, I'm not saying
that's not the question I asked. My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful?
Dude, this dude is getting annoyed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised MSNBC is pushing back this hard because they always throw softballs. Always, no matter what, they throw softballs. I guess they're trying to.
The tide is turning. That's what's going on.
Yeah. Well, you also can't keep peeing on people's legs and tell them that it's raining either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, MSDNC, they're changing their name for a reason. They're changing it to MS now because no one's watching because all they do is lie. You know what I'm saying? All they do is lie. They never push back on these, chump politicians. So I'm glad to see that Scarborough. Now I still don't have a whole lot of respect for Scarborough, but I'm glad to see that he is pushing back. And I was like, oh man, he crossed his arms. He's like, man, this dude is full of it.
You had what's her name grab his arm like,
yeah, she was like, calm down, you're going too hard.
I mean, that's good. That's good. We're seeing the tide turning because Trump is he tying them up. He tying in the wrenches. He moving pieces and he's taking all the funds away, all the subsidized whatever money they're getting. They're not getting anymore. So they're hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
Go ahead, play the rest, Robert.
Okay, here we go.
If that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago.
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other social programs are extraordinarily important. I just need a yes or a no, and then this will be the last time I ask.
Simple. Yes
if
or
you
no.
get all of those other social programs that 800 million that New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success, would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Say yes.
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply
Look at
putting
her
out an
face.
arbitrary
Her face
number
is just
around
like,
police
he's full of
officers is
shit.
the answer. What I'm saying is policing and affordable housing. It's policing and mental and behavioral health care services. It's policing and youth employment. It's a full package. Of course, we want to make sure that our police department is fully supported. That's why I've invested in our Detectives Bureau, because what we have seen in the city of Chicago, when we solve crime, it acts and serves as a deterrent. It's policing and all of the other efforts that we're doing. Here's the last thing that I'll say to that. The federal government could work stronger to coordinate with my police department to get guns off the streets of Chicago. We've seen these coordination efforts work. Just a couple of weeks ago, the ATF working with my police department, we removed over 150 guns off the streets of Chicago that were trafficked in through Mississippi and Indiana. No one is saying that police officers
Yeah, he is garbage. He's garbage. I mean, the question is like, for you, Wise. I mean, like if I give you 5,000 new police officer force, whether the MPs from the military or National Guard, whatever the case may be, to reinforce your very hectic workload to help you out, anybody will with the right mind will say, of course, that sounds great, because they can focus after that. After you solve the security problem, you can focus on, let me help the people now with these social agendas that I have with mental health and everything. But if you do not solve the main issue, which is like you treating somebody's wounded, you have to stop the bleeding first. That's what is going on. Security. That's that's a baseline. And for him just to accept it, it's about ego. He don't want to accept that Donald Trump, Big Daddy T, is coming home to clean up the house, and he don't want to get, he don't want to get straight, pretty much.
Man,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Sorry, go ahead, Wise.
No, go for it.
But I was just gonna add to Julio's that, why could it be that hard? Like, if for somebody that's opposing to saying that, it's not his ego, whatever. I mean, more cops make sense, and especially if it's coming funding not from your budget but from the federal
Exactly.
government.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not coming from your pocket.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Oh, and you know what's crazy about that is when he was talking about some of the social programs, I actually agreed with him. I mean, we have a mental health issue in our nation right now, a mental health crisis in our nation. I don't have a problem, with them saying, you know what, we've hired people to help those that are suffering from mental health. Lord knows we have that issue. Hey, the kids getting off the corners and getting them jobs, I don't have a problem with that either. I think that's a great thing. These kids need something to do. And to be honest with you, I think you need to go a step further and make sure that we bring in, some rec centers and some trade schools and things of that nature. So these young people can gain some skills that would make them productive citizens. I don't have an issue with that. But again, if you are shot and you're bleeding out, hey, you got to throw the tourniquet on. You know what I'm saying? Throw the tourniquet on and let's stop the bleeding. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, what are we talking about? And if the federal government, if the president is coming to you saying, hey, I'm willing to help, why won't you take the man's help?
That's it.
It's not coming from your budget.
It's not going to come from your budget. This is the president saying, hey, we're ready to give you some resources. Now, the crazy thing is he doesn't want the president's help. He just wants them to send them more money in one of the most corrupt cities in the country. Because remember, in that same, if you let it keep going, or if you had an additional clip to it, he was like, how about he just gives us the $850 million that he cut off from us in April? Yeah. That's what he wanted. He wants the money so they can take the money and divert the resources to something else. I mean, we do know that they're operating in a deficit right now. The Chicago public schools are about to go bankrupt. They just fired a plethora of teachers. You know what I'm saying? They're shutting down schools. And the thing is that Brandon Johnson, you hadn't shown yourself as a good steward of the people's money. So why would the president give you $850 million? You're not even good with the budget you currently have. Come on now.
Yeah, and the budget you come up with, that's the thing. It's not like, dude, man,
But
it's
you
just
remember, like,
foolishness.
you remember, I think it was last year when he mentioned, I will not raise taxes to my community because
Oh,
we are going to work this out. 2
yeah.
months later,
Raising
he
taxes.
convinced, like, we had to raise taxes. That's when people got mad, be like,
Yeah.
hey, MF, you last 2 months, you say you're not raising taxes. Now you're doing it. Well, we running on a deficit and we have to fix this
Mhm.
problem. And like, come on, man. And socialism do the same thing. They want to get stuff for free.
Yep.
They will last 2, 3 years. When the money runs out, where we gonna get the money from? Oh, let's raise taxes. Let's raise property
Mhm.
taxes. Let's start seizing people's property so we can raise money.
Mhm.
And before you know it, bankrupt. The whole
Yep.
town, the
The
whole
whole
city
city
went bankrupt.
bankrupt. Yep. Well, the thing
And
too is that if you guys recall, they just took a loan out. They
yeah,
just
that-
took a loan
yep,
out. I think
yep,
it was like
yes, they did.
$900 million or 800 some odd million dollars. That in the grand scheme of things, they're going to pay back. I think it was $2.7 billion or something crazy that they're going to pay back. I mean, it's a bad loan at that. So, but the city doesn't have to start paying on it until I think like 2045 or 2050. It's like
Th-
some years
That's when
out.
the interest accumulate. Yeah.
Yeah. So they took a loan out and then basically just, hey, we'll kick this
Kick it
issue
down the
down the
road.
curb. It's going to be somebody else's problem 20 years from now. I mean, dude,
Damn.
this dude he's terrible. And the
He
crazy
is
thing
terrible.
is that people thought that Lori Lightfoot was bad. And
No, he's
Johnson
10
gets in there and
times
is
worse.
like, nah, I got this.
Hold my beard.
Yeah, dude, that is
I will
crazy.
tell you how it's done. So let's play this video.
Man.
Donald Trump talking about the same thing.
Mm.
Go
Here we
ahead,
go.
Robert.
So the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. I just know how to stop crime. So the line is that I'm a dictator,
Yeah.
but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator.
He's true right there. I mean, he said it. Like, people call him dictator and all that stuff, but I mean, how can you be a dictator and clean up the streets from criminals pretty much for free?
Well, you know what's
You
crazy
think-
about that? I think there are people that want a dictator. I don't think that President Trump is, but I do think there are some people out there that want it.
Yeah.
As long as said individual gives them all the freebies that they want.
True.
There's a bunch of people out there that would, hey, if you're going to give us free housing and free this and free that, yeah, we'll give you all of our rights and let you run the show forever. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of people out there like that.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's insane. But
That-
and the thing is, like those social programs that he was talking about, the free housing and all that, like Wyatt said, yeah, that all sounds good, but we need to clean it up first, right? And you need help, and you need to, I mean, their people, the people of Chicago, are basically begging for this help,
Mhm.
and it's just crazy for me that he's not even listening to his constituents. And her Lightfoot, if you remember, she paid all the money for the migrants, the
Yeah.
immigrants.
Mhm. Well, the thing too is, what good is affordable housing if they're slums?
Yep. Yeah.
Like when you have bad security, when you have a problem of security in your neighborhood, when it's like riddled with crime, value drops because nobody
Yeah.
wants to live in there.
Yeah.
The value dropped. Like, come on. Like, if you clean up your area, people have more confidence. Like, you see McDonald's, they live in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, a lot of
McDonald's,
stuff is leaving Chicago.
Marshalls,
A lot.
a lot. And same thing happened in California. And what they have too in common is crime. Like,
Yeah.
people come in, grab the stuff, and walked out, and they cannot be stopped because the police would let them out the same day.
Well, I had watched something the other day, and they were talking about Chicago, and they're talking about the crime stats. The reality of it is, they're saying that the homicides are down 50%, but everything else is up. So the carjackings are up, the burglaries are up, the robberies are up. But they're saying there's two major stats: the homicides are down, and I think they're saying shootings are down. But the reality of it is that certain incidents happen, and the police won't actually write it up as it is. Let's say, for instance, a shooting happens, but they don't catch anybody. They don't even report it. It doesn't get reported on the stats.
Yeah, I
as an
heard of
actual
that.
shooting.
Yeah. There is a video that I
No,
want to show you about it with, I think, Stephen Miller. He talks about how they mischaracterize the crime
Mhm.
and label it something different to mess with the numbers, to show that it's, crime is going down when it actually it was listed in something else, which is they did the same thing with the vaccines, if you remember.
Mhm.
They were like, you would go there for somebody passed away from a car accident, and they'll tell them, no, he died from
Yep, he
COVID.
died from COVID. Yep.
And like, but he was in a car accident or a work accident. Oh, it was COVID because they were getting that money.
Yeah, they
So
was getting the money. Yeah,
it's crazy.
it's crazy, man. It's ridiculous.
It is. Let's play this video next of Stephen
All right, here we
Miller
go.
talking about the same thing that you were mentioning, was.
Which is crazy.
It
Here we go.
is. Oh, let me see.
Ready when you are.
Yeah, let's go.
They've lost control of their place. Steve Miller, please say a few words.
Thank you, sir. So just to, first of all, follow up on what the Vice President said. No police officer working in the city can remember a time in their lives when there has been no murders. You can work at the police department for 20 years, 30 years, your whole life. We've checked the records. No one can even find a record of being murder-free for as long as we've been murder-free under President Trump's leadership. Additionally, and the President spoke about this before, we've uncovered, in the process of uncovering, a massive scandal in Washington, D.C. with the doctoring of crime stats. And the Department of Justice, under the Attorney General, is leading the effort to uncover this. But when we ultimately share the results, it will stun you. The extent to which, even though D.C. had the worst crime in America, honestly measured, it dramatically understated how bad it was. There's even accusations that murders and homicides were reported as accidents instead of murders. I mean, this is how severe the manipulation of the crime data has been in this city, and it will all be uncovered and it will all be brought to light. You know, I've had a chance to spend some time, as has everyone here, with the police officers in the city. Members of the public are going up to them and thanking them, just overflowing with gratitude, because for the first time in their lives, they can use the parks, they can walk.
See, that's what everybody wants, dude. Use your parks, walk freely. But this is nuts. Somebody should be arrested for this.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, well, the police commissioner in DC is under investigation now. Y'all know this is gonna take a little bit, but they are under investigation, and I think they put him on administrative leave at this point for juking the stats. But I mean, this is something that's been going on for a very long time. If you guys ever watched The Wire, they were talking about, police precincts or police forces juking the stats, and a lot of times it comes from the top down. Typically it's a mayor that's in an election year, and they're like, "Hey, we need these. We need the homicides to come down. We need the aggravated assaults to come down. Whatever you got to do to show these numbers, to show an improvement in these numbers, do it." This is something that's been going on for a long time, and it's been happening in a multitude of cities for a very long time. But the thing is that what good is the stats saying that crime is down, but the people still don't feel safe? What does that, if the people don't feel safe, what are you saying that crime is down when they just, it was a shooting just yesterday, on their block, or grandma's afraid to come outside after, when the street lights come out, or come on. What good is it?
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah. I mean, full of it, man. But like I said, if you watch The Wire, man, they were talking about that. They were talking about that back then. And The Wire's at this point now, well over 20 years ago.
That was a movie that was no, it was a show.
Yeah, it was
2002, right?
Yeah, it came out a long time ago, and it's talking about Baltimore. Man, if you haven't watched it, I do suggest you watch it. It is phenomenal.
Baltimore. That's another thing too. Baltimore, the people needs some type of protection there, dude.
Yeah,
that's been
Baltimore
for years.
Now I live. Technically, I live in Baltimore. I live inside the Beltway. I live in a fairly nice neighborhood. And it's pretty safe, and I live right down the street from the police precinct up here. But It is wild. Certain blocks, I mean, there's certain blocks in Baltimore that no one lives on. They're just completely boarded up. They were selling houses for $1. That's how bad it was, bro. You could buy a house for $1 in Baltimore
And
City, trying to
and
get people to
Baltimore is
move back
so
to the city.
beautiful.
You
So
know.
beautiful. Like it has so much potential.
Oh, there's so much
Like
potential, man. So much. It's right. I mean, you got the harbor. There are some nice places in Baltimore. There are some nice places in Baltimore, but the majority of it isn't so nice. But I would say maybe 25% of it is actually nice. If you go down Inner Harbor, Harbor East, and the more ritzier
oh,
areas, it is really
I didn't
nice.
even see the hat. The Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now moving along to the next subject. I don't know if you have it prepared, Robert. I didn't give it to you the information about the shooter that happened today in
Oh
in
yeah.
Minnesota, which is very unfortunate. The death toll, I believe, was 2 children and around over 10 kids wounded, and it was a deranged. They don't want to say it. They didn't say it for hours. It was a deranged male, identifying as a female, with a long. I believe he had a long term trauma because he was posting. I saw a video today. He was posting since 2021 or 22. He was posting
Yeah.
about it, and he was like kind of like dragging trauma and all that stuff. But anyway, the despicable act that he committed today, it has no room for society. I mean, he's wrong. Instead of dealing with his issues, he just took people with him, and that is wrong in my eyes. I hope he burned in hell. And people say, we need to forgive, but there's no forgiveness for this. And now the problem that I found in this, this gave the left more fire into their fight to take our rights away, because they already saw comments
Oh
online.
yeah.
Oh, we need to get the guns out of the streets and all that. So it's like, come on, like
That's
it's
never
always
happening, bro. It's
yeah.
never
I
Well,
hope,
happening.
I hope not.
I
let's
mean,
let's hear. Let's,
hey, that's not happening. I'm not letting anybody take my no.
And I bought
I know that's
I
right.
bought
Me
two new
too.
ones
Yeah.
already. About to pick him up tomorrow. But
Hey, let's hear what our would have been our fearless leaders. Tampon Tim has to say about
oh
this.
my God, Tom Tim, look at
Yeah,
that
there you go.
haircut.
Let's.
It's worse than mine.
Oh man. Yeah, here we go.
Our hairline is
Certainly a
like
day and
way
a
over here.
news conference that no one wants to be at.
Oops, sorry guys.
A community behind us, Annunciation Church and School, committed to academics, service, and Catholic values, filled with the first days of school of beautiful children going to learn those values, share with their teachers and their classmates. And instead of that joy and that curiosity and that learning, they were met with evil and horror and death. And we often come to these and say, these unspeakable tragedies, or there's no words for this. There shouldn't be words for these types of incidents because they should not happen. And there's no words that are going to ease the pain of the families today. On behalf of all the people of Minnesota, our deepest sympathies. A wish that any of these words would make what you're feeling now better, but it won't. A place that's founded on community, founded on service, founded on family.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for
it,
some
Robert.
reason I can't get moved by his words, but
Not at all. Well, they don't come
I will
across as
say
sincere, They
exactly.
don't come across as sincere. I mean, this is also the dude that did pin, and codify, these types of individuals in the law.
Yeah.
That let's just keep it a buck. These are people that are suffering from mental health issues. Let's just keep it a buck. That's what it
Yeah.
is. These people are suffering, and instead of getting these people help, you guys affirm it. And this is the third shooting of from one of these people that are a part of the quote unquote trans community. And for whatever reason, they like to go to schools and do this to children. If you guys recall, there was a similar situation that happened out in Nashville That individual, he killed 6 kids, or she killed 6 kids. That was a girl that did that.
Yep.
It's just crazy. This individual, fortunately, and I hate to say fortunately, but there were only 2 people, 2 young people that perished. But this is a 6 and an 8-year-old kid, and you don't send your kids off to school. You don't send your kids off to school of all places, thinking that something like this would happen. My condolences to the family, because
Definitely.
you definitely, I don't even think I could even fathom, receiving that phone call. I couldn't even fathom it.
Yeah, but that's why I support Donald Trump in this move of moving the National Guard to minimize violence on the streets. By minimizing violence on the streets, we are able to focus more in all the people issues like mental health and all the stuff. Because if we keep preoccupying ourselves with YNs on the streets, wilding out, shooting people, they're not focusing on the people that have mental health issues. You know what I mean? Because they're so occupied on that, on that aspect of their jobs. And I really feel for the police in the United States, because they are overworked and understaffed.
Yeah.
And
Well,
most of
they've
the
defunded a lot of the police departments. During the COVID timeframe, how many police, were let go because they did not want to get the jab.
they shut down
These
prisons.
guys, and they still haven't recovered from that, as far as bringing, the police back. And there was a lot of them that just decided not to go back. They just said that, hey, we're done. We're not going back to do this. And then in a lot of places, like in Minneapolis and Chicago and Oakland and LA, the police are basically kind of handcuffed. They're hamstrung. They can only do but so much. And, eventually, when you have these soft on crime policies, and you got people not really wanting to, really discuss the root cause, especially when it comes to this mental health situation that we have going on. I mean, we legit have a mental health crisis, in our country that, for whatever reason, no one wants to talk about. And I do think that there needs to be some resources given to help combat mental health issues. We definitely need to do that, not only, for the regular citizens, but also for our veterans out there. How many veterans are out there homeless right now on the streets, suffering from, PTSD or whatever other, schizophrenia, anxiety, you know what I'm saying, from some of the things that they've gone through, that they're not getting the proper care and help that they need. You know what I'm saying?
Those are facts. Yeah, that's true. And now we're moving on to our last subject, which is conspiracies.
Sorry, guys.
I got one for you, Robert. And I was talking
Yeah.
to Robert about it, and why I would like to bring you in. This is my theory about why Donald Trump is moving the National Guard to 19 different states, and it has a correlation with the drug, with the war on the cartels. And this is my point. I think Donald Trump is moving the chess pieces in place before he do the checkmate. So he moved the warships to the coast of Venezuela. I think they there either today or yesterday. They got there. He's monitored the cartels in Mexico at the same time. He got the PAA. He got everything in place, and he moving the National Guard to the 19 states. I think Donald Trump will attack Venezuela and Mexico at the same time, and he already had the National Guard in different states, just in case the cartels trying to do something and minimize collateral damage. Because the cartels is all over the United States.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah,
especially in Corridor 35, like Highway 35. It runs from Edinburgh, I believe, all the way south of Texas, all the way pretty much north to Kansas, somewhere. So that's the main corridor, 35. So I think Donald Trump is just moving his chess pieces, moving his people around, just in case something happened. He don't have to call quick reaction force. He's already having it in place.
They're already out there. I hadn't thought about that. It's highly probable. I mean, when you think about Venezuela, a nation that should be an extremely wealthy nation, they're the number one. They're the number one supplier, or could be the number one supplier of oil in the Western Hemisphere. I mean, they're a super rich country when you think about it, from an oil energy perspective. They just have poor leadership over there. Very poor leadership. And again, socialism, and dictatorships don't normally work. And they were once upon a time a very wealthy, flourishing nation, and then that all changed, and it didn't take long, for it to happen either, But I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't put too much thought on that. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think he has to. I don't think he has to attack Venezuela. I don't think he has to attack, Mexico.
Well, I what I think is going on there, and I'm sorry guys, I don't know, my dog messed with the camera cable and now I can't. So, but anyways, so what honestly I think Trump is doing this very, very, very strategic, because a lot of people don't understand that Venezuela and Colombia and Mexico are working together to pass these drugs, organs, child trafficking. There's so many things. Now, we can't say the government's doing it, right? But we know that it's coming from these countries. And what Trump's doing is he found out the weasel, basically. And the weasel is the guy from Venezuela, because now that he's trying to run, where did he try to go first? The first 2 days he was trying to go where? Cuba. And then Cuba was like, hey,
don't bring
you
that
know
over
what?
here.
Exactly. Then he tried to get into Russia, which they told him, hey, I'm currently negotiating. So now guess what? He's going reaching out for Colombia. The president of Mexico is reaching out, and it's rumored that he's whether he's she's trying to shelter him in there. But my point is that I think what's going on is that Trump is shaking this up and at the same time cleaning the streets. And this is something that no one talks about. But in the streets that they're cleaning, that people are complaining that, oh, they're just bums or they're just homeless people. And, but guess what they found? They found like a bunch of drug dealers dressed as homeless, and when they arrested them, found a wattload of cash and a bunch of fentanyl. So, this is hurting their money for sure. So I honestly think it's mostly the whole reason why Trump's sending the troops over there, or is just mostly a shakeup. And before we got on camera, I was telling Julio over the phone that it's kind of crazy, because you start to think back when Trump ordered Tulsi to remove people from getting clearances from. Yeah, so it's kind of like none of the whistleblowers could, on their side could even say anything,
Yeah.
That's true.
You're absolutely right, and I appreciate the way he's going about doing things. He's not coming across as weak. He's not trying to, play, kind of footsie or patsy, with these folks. He's just saying, nah, this isn't happening anymore. Security clearance revoked. We're going to these cities. All these people that are complaining, like, well, he's not sending to red cities or red states that has some of these bad cities. I don't think he's going to have any issues reaching out to Tennessee and saying to the governor of Tennessee or to the governor of Texas or any of these other red states that have some cities, that are on that list
by Democrats.
They're not going to have any issues, with them. But you you might as well go on, because what we do know is that when he's ready to go to Memphis or St. Louis or some of these other places, I don't think the governors are going to have any issue partnering and working with the president.
Absolutely.
But you also got to think about it. Chicago is a major city, and it's important. It's an important city to the nation. So is LA. The other thing that people aren't really talking about too is that we have the World Cup coming here next year, and it's going to be the largest World Cup event that has ever been put on. I think it's 80 countries now. They added teams. So, and then we also have the 250-year anniversary for America. That's next year. And then we have the Olympics coming in 2028. That's going out to LA. So there is a reason, you know what I'm saying, to clean up the cities, because we're about to welcome the world to America. And the last thing we want is people coming out here getting robbed, getting carjacked, and Lord knows, what else. The other thing too is that the previous administration also allowed how many people on the terrorist watch list through our southern border and northern borders And you know what I'm saying? How many of these people that they are terrorists, but they just hadn't made the actual watch list yet? And I would assume that a lot of these people are homeless and things of that nature, or at least playing homeless anyway.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Waiting, buying their time. So yeah, something's got to shake. But I do like I hadn't put 2 and 2 together yet with what's going on with the ships movement out in Venezuela. I'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
it's crazy, dude.
it is
I mean,
crazy. Everything's moving fast. I like that. I like this.
Yeah, but
stuff.
he is working. That's why I said when we started this thing, I was like, hands down, the hardest working president that we've had, at least in modern U.S. history. I can't think of anybody that has gotten more accomplished in such. I mean, dude, it feels like this man has been in office for 2 years already, and we're not even at a year yet.
7.5 months. That's it.
I know,
7.5
right?
months.
Not even
Oh
not
my
even a
God.
year, and he already accomplished more than that president do in 2 terms.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
This is a
I can't
man.
wait. I can't wait for
vision.
year 2027 to have 2027 to see how everything looks like. You know how most of the stuff is accomplished, and I'm waiting for this interest rate to drop.
Yeah, I'm
Me
looking forward
too.
to that as well.
I'm looking
I'm looking forward
forward
to it as
that.
well.
I want to
know.
see the economy exploding, the gas prices back to like a 199 a gallon.
man,
I want
dude,
to
that
see
would be
eggs
phenomenal.
I want to see eggs cheap. I want to throw that meat on the grill every weekend. And now I have to do like a once a month. It's expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive these days.
Yeah, it's expensive. But anyway,
Yeah.
Wise, thank you so much, my brother. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being on our show. Hopefully, I have you back.
Yeah, man. Thank
In
you
the
guys for
future.
having me,
I
man.
know
Appreciate you
you're
guys.
really, really busy guy. Let me show a lot of people know you already. I don't know what
Yeah,
I'm
you don't
showing
have to
you.
go through all that. But hey, we're gonna have to do it the other way around. You know what I'm saying? We get you guys on the channel, give you guys some
Yeah,
exposure, things of that nature.
definitely.
If that's something you guys are interested in,
Oh, yeah,
we
of
can
course.
definitely
We interested in everything, man.
we
Whatever,
can definitely work that
alien,
out.
conspiracy, guns, you name it. Oh, by the way, talking about guns, the Coast Guard seized 34 tons of white powder this
Jeez,
morning.
Oh
34
yeah.
tons.
34 tons. Wow, that's crazy.
34 tons. Oh, but in the
They're,
value
they're
was
gonna have
2.2 billion.
they're gonna have a bunch of Rick James over there. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well, typically when that happens, those guys, because one of my friends was on the Navy, because the Navy, they do drug boats as well,
Mhm.
out on the West Coast, mainly on the West Coast, not on the East Coast, but those guys, there's a multitude of guys that are stationed out in San Diego. They do it as well. And he's like, hey, if you catch a drug bust or something along those lines, typically they don't make you drug tests for at least like I think he said like 60 days or something like that. They give you
Because you're
when
in
that
contact
happens.
with it,
Yeah, because you're in contact, with the with the drugs. But yeah, it's happening, man. They catching it, on a day-to-day basis. And the thing is, man, you look at what's happened over the previous 4 years, man. And I mean the amount of drug trafficking, the amount of human trafficking, organ trafficking, all these things are happening, and it's really sad and unfortunate because we got a lot of people still advocating for this foolishness. Not really understanding what they've been advocating for, and it's sad, So, Robert, I understand, where you come from, because the thing is that once you start to do the research for yourself,
Yeah.
it's hard to continue to support those folks, man.
Yeah, for
absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
No,
Hey,
I'm Republican all the way, man. Red to the core.
yeah, I know. We had a conversation when I first met Robert, and we got a couple of videos, a couple of clips that went viral on TikTok on TikTok about it, because people were like, "Oh, you're a red pill, you're MAGA, whatever," and we get a lot of hate. But I'm just laughing about it now. I'm just like, these people are so deranged.
Okay.
It just
Well,
make fun.
hey, that's part of the game. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Some people are gonna love what you have to say, others are not gonna hate or are not gonna love it. I always say, I don't get mad at the comment section like that, because it all counts. A good comment, a bad comment, it's good for the algorithm. So it's all good. And if you're gonna be out here in this space, you gotta have some thick skin. You can't be out here
For
soft
sure.
and thin skin, and frustrated and butthurt because somebody didn't agree with something you said. You can't. You
Yep.
can't be like that. So I don't even focus on it. And I'm at a point now to where I used to clap back, but I don't even do that too much anymore. It's like,
Yeah,
whatever.
me neither. I just give him a thumbs up and I keep moving. You know what I mean?
You know.
I just
Yeah,
Now, I
that's
may
the
not give
same
you a
thing
thumbs
too.
up.
Yeah.
I may not give you a thumbs up, but I'm not going to acknowledge you.
I know.
Because if I give you a thumbs up, that lets you know I read it and that makes you feel good. Nah, I ain't
Hey,
gonna give you that.
Wise, have you just real quick? I'm sorry. Have you encountered someone personally have TDS?
Uh,
That's a
Personally,
good question.
like that's a good question. And yes, I have. I actually encounter these people on a day-to-day basis. The gym I go to LA Fitness out here, and there are two older black guys, and they're good dudes. You know what I'm saying? Outside of when we talk
Correct.
about politics, but they're good dudes overall. But man, they suffer from some wicked cases of Trump derangement syndrome. Oh my goodness. And I'm always getting on them because the thing is that they can't refute the facts. They just don't like the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They can't refute the facts. They just don't like him. So yeah, I run across two guys, and I try not to get into politics with them too tough. We can talk about anything. We get on the politics. These are blue no matter who type folks, been voting Democrat their entire lives, I think. And these are when I say two older black guys, I mean these both of these guys are in their 70s. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they suffer from some wicked cases of Trump derangement syndrome.
That's crazy.
But outside of those two guys, I haven't had anybody bold enough to come and say anything to me, in that manner. And we have conversations. I'm in the gym and we have conversations, and I'll have people might give me a little look or something like that because me and my guy, we're working out and we're talking, and people overhear some of the conversations. But I haven't had anybody bold enough. But I'm not a little guy either, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
say
I'm
crazy.
sure.
But
I'm just 5'8", man. But I talk shit every day. So I don't care.
hey, but
And the good thing-
one thing. Oh, go ahead, Julio.
No, go ahead, man. You're good.
Oh, I was just gonna say that. They see a big alpha male. They think twice before confronting
Mhm.
you. But it's
Yeah.
crazy though. Us that have the facts behind our backs, we never try to bring up the politics. The moment they know that you are a Trump supporter, that's all they want to talk about,
Mhm.
and they're the
Mhm.
one that's always bringing it up. I don't know if that's your experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. That's my experience. I mean, I don't walk around in my regular life on a day-to-day basis telling people like, hey, this is what I do. If you know, you know. And I don't go around telling people like that too tough. I mean, if you ask me, I'll tell you. But and there's a multitude of people at the gym that I go to that do watch the channel, which is surprising. And there's been a few that have come up, and said what's up, but they don't like bother me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
correct.
yeah, I don't. I try my best not to get into political conversations with people, especially with people that don't know anything. I live this. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading and I'm watching, and I'm, you know what I'm saying? So I'm into this. Most
Yep.
people don't have the information that we have because we do this on a day-to-day basis. I literally eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff on a day-to-day basis. That's how we produce the content that we produce on a day-to-day basis multiple times throughout the day. And most people, they get their news from CNN, which is more times than not they've been lied to, or they're watching, MSDNC and they're being lied to there and they don't know anything. So if you do have a conversation with them and you start hitting them with facts, they're like, where'd you get that from? And then I can point you in a direction. They're not going to go read it. They're not going to go, they're just not,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I try not to get into those conversations too much. And one of my friends, I'm not going to put all his business out there, but he works in an office. And he was like, dude, he's a bunch of Trump deranged people where he works at. He's like, dude, I just try to bite my lip and just be quiet because he's one of those people. He knows what he's talking about. He reads, he understands, he knows what's going on. He was like, but I don't want to get into it with these folks. And he already got called to the office because he came after Trump won. He wore his Trump hat to work the following day. And boy, he's like, they didn't say anything to me, but an email came out. They put an email and said no one can wear any paraphernalia with political, with any political affiliation because he works for the state. And he's like, and these people, he was like, they just talk trash every day about Republicans. They talk trash about Trump every day. And he's like, man, I'm sitting here listening to this stuff. And he was just like, dude, sometimes, man, I just can't take it. But I told him, I was like, bro, don't mess your money up, bro. Ignore these people.
Yeah.
These people aren't your friend. They're not your family. Do your job. Go home. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mixed up in that, because you're outnumbered as it is. If you know anything about Maryland, hey, we only have, I think we're 36% of Marylanders are registered Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Now we only have one representative. So out of the 8, we have one representative, and the governor is talking about gerrymandering that dude out. So we don't know what we got going on.
Oh man, dang.
Yeah,
So I'm like, bro,
you know, and
everybody's crazy out here, man. So don't do that. Don't mess your money up, bro.
Yeah, it is crazy. The left can do everything, but if the right play by the same rules, now they get mad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's
absolutely. That's exactly
and
how
you know
are,
that,
and it's crazy.
That's what's cool is that the people that do agree with you that are in those high cities, like, you know, when Harris County, when I used to live there, and it's Houston, you know, every now and then they'll be like, hey, I'm Republican too, fist bump, you know, all quietly. And I'm like, you know, come on now, you know.
I have people come up to me in the gym and shake my hand. You know what I'm saying? They might be on the low, like, watch you on a day-to-day basis. You know, they like shake my hand, but they kind of keep it on the low. They don't want everybody to know.
That's good though. But I mean, like, we have to come out, like, man, we have to come out of the closet. You know what I mean? We have to come out and be like, hey, we wear red. Sometimes I wear red and people will look at me crazy. Because
I have my MAGA hats. I got a couple of them. You know, I got a few MAGA hats and things of that nature. And honestly, bro, I'm not ashamed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed, you know, to be a conservative. No different than I am, you know, I'm unashamed, you know, to say that I'm a follower of Christ. I'm not ashamed at all.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Not at all. You know, so, but at the same time, I also don't want to beat people upside the head, you know, with my beliefs. Now, if you come in and have a conversation with me, I have no problem, you know, speaking to you, but I don't want to, I'm not going to push it on anybody. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you know, you get the, you know, every now and again, you get, you know, some Democrat that will walk up to you, or some liberal will be like, man, I can't stand Trump. And then, you know, at that point, it was like, hey, I'm a Trump supporter. You know, they look at you like, wait, what?
That's crazy.
Man,
But anyway, White, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I know you're busy. I know you're about to hit the rack soon.
Yeah, I'm about to lay it down.
Yeah, about to lay.
There you go.
You have to go to the gym, man. What are you working out tomorrow in the gym? You going to the gym tomorrow?
Oh, absolutely.
What are you working on?
Absolutely. Well, I box 2 days a week. So Tuesday, Thursday. So tomorrow's Thursday. So Thursday is a box day for me. So I box 2 days a week. I lift 3 days a week. And I play a lot of pickleball. You know what I'm saying? I don't play that. That's not at I go to LA Fitness, but I have a trainer that I work with at LA Fitness. You know, we box, you know, 2 days a week. I've been working with him now for probably about 9 months now. You know, just working on my hand skills. I really do it more for the exercise aspect of things, but
the endurance,
you know, and the endurance and things of that nature. Because I mean, if you know anything about throwing punches, you know, throwing punches for 2-3 minutes is rough.
Yeah,
I have it back, but I hardly use it.
But it's a good workout, man. You know, and then I lift 3 days a week. You know,
I don't do shit. I just drink.
You know,
I just drink this and trying to eat less.
As you can see, I'm a couch potato.
You got to work on that, man. You got to work on that.
I really do.
Hey, I feel like every man, you know, out there, you know, you should be able to, you know, lift. I say at least 225. You should be able to at least run a mile and finish it. I'm not saying giving you a time, but at least be able to run a mile and finish it and feel it, and without feeling like you're about to die. You should be able to throw some hands for at least a minute straight, just in case you got to get into it. And you should go hit the range at least once or twice a month, and just make sure that you sharp enough, you know, with whatever tool, you know, you carry.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. You should be able to do those things. You should do. You know.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice for those young people out there who want to get some guidance. That's good. That's good advice.
Don't get a 40 cal, because I got that because
that's too much gun, bro. That's too much gun.
Yeah, dude. Man, the recoil sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible. Well, you know, up here we don't have open carry here in Maryland. We have concealed carry. You know, so you have to have something that you can conceal, and they don't want you to print. You know, so
you have to wear something very small.
So you have to. It's you know, more times than not, you need a compact or a subcompact. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you want something, you know, either 9 mil. You know, I personally like the 357 personally. you know, and the recoil, it's not too bad. You know what I mean? But you know, it can hide and it'll handle business and get the job done. Now at the house is completely different. But if I'm out and about, yeah.
That's good. That's what I carry. That's what I carry. I carry a 9, like Canic double stack.
Yeah, I like the Canic, yo. Those
Yeah,
that's
MC9.
nice.
I got the
Yeah,
MC9
nice.
Prime. I just got that a couple months ago, and I have the Elite Combat. That's what
Okay.
that's what I use at the range, you know, for practicing the Elite Combat because I can just rack it
Yeah.
and just.
Now, I
ride
like
it
the MP Shield, you know, the little subcompact MP Shield. You know, I'm a fan of that.
That's a good. That's a very slim gun. I
Yeah,
like that one.
yeah, and it's, you know, because here we can't, we're not, you're allowed to carry, but you can't print. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have something that you can hide. You know what I mean? And honestly, man, you really don't want to be out. I've seen too many videos of people walking around, you know, open carry, and then somebody, they're not paying attention.
You don't want to expose.
And somebody come take it from them. You know, I've seen entirely too many videos like that. So
or you become the target. You know?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
easy
So I'd
target.
almost rather, you know, I like the idea of, you know, you don't know. You know, so I like the ideal of that. So that's the one thing I will say about Maryland.
That's why I carry appendix. That's why I carry appendix. I don't carry on my 3 or behind my bag. I carry appendix all the time.
The only reason why I went to 40 caliber because when the whole COVID thing, I really needed bullets at that time, and everybody was buying bullets.
Oh,
and
man. At that time, dude, people were buying bullets like crazy. They're still buying bullets like that, man.
Yeah.
And then all I saw in the shelf was 10 millimeter and 40 millimeter. No one uses those, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have that gun. And I bought a compact one, you know, from an MP, but
oh man,
it still looks full size.
Holy smokes!
It still looks full size, dude. It still looks full size.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine shooting like a compact 9mm. It's not a lot of recoil on that. It's not going to be too bad.
Yeah, correct.
But
yeah,
40. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Dude.
No, I made that mistake, and I sold the Glock, and now I'm like, no, I need to buy another one. So I'm in the market for that right now.
Yeah. That's that 40 cal. That's probably a bad decision. I bet that thing. It's not even fun to shoot, is it? I bet it hurts to shoot it.
Yeah, it does, bro. It does.
Yeah. All right, man. Really appreciate it, Wise. Thank you so much.
You
can follow Wise right there. You see the his YouTube channel. Pretty good. He I don't know how he do it, but he posts like 3 times a day. He's very like you work hard, man. You work hard.
Grinding,
you do
man.
the right thing. And I'm
Grinding,
like,
man.
Hey,
And still has time to go to the gym. Man, I'm a slob, bro.
I know you about to say something like that. I know.
Hey, but that's why you got to get up early, man. Hey, getting up early. You know, I'm up at 4:30 on a day-to-day basis, bro. Think about how much you can get accomplished.
That Trump schedule.
Hey, I'm up, man.
He's on that Trump schedule, like 4:30 in the morning.
I mean, dude, I look at it like this, man. If Warren Buffett and Trump and some of these other old guys can get up and grind on a day-to-day, I'm not that old. These dudes are you know, twice my age. You know what I'm saying? Almost.
Yeah,
you know what? Why can't I get up and, you know, and do? And then plus, you know, I used to sleep in and things of that nature. I tried it, but I just felt like I was always rushing. So, you know, I had to revert back to getting up early and just being disciplined. And now, man, I have complete control of my day. I have a real schedule, and that's why I'm able to, you know, post and do what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And I still take time off. You know, I normally, you know, I don't really do much on Saturdays. I normally take the latter part of Friday and all day Saturday. I pretty much take off.
Oh, wow.
And the first part of Sunday. And then, so I basically give myself a weekend. But yeah, man, if you want to be successful, the good people, hey, they're pushing the content out on a day-to-day basis, 2, 3, 4 videos a day. And that's how you make it, you know, in this space, man. Gotta feed the beast, man.
Awesome.
You got to. All right, man. I appreciate it. Wise,
Right,
thank
man,
you.
you guys take care, man. God bless, man.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Wise.
Appreciate
Pleasure.
you.
I'll see you in the next one, brother. Take care.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you have it, man. You have the man, the legend.
Man, I could talk to that guy for hours. I'm sorry, guys.
I know. We've been trying to say goodbye for almost 20 minutes.
Dude, he's cool, man. It's fun,
he's
you know. He's on that Trump schedule, dude, from 4 in the morning, and then he works out, he boxes. I mean, obviously he doesn't do it continuously, but then he does 3 contents a day, dude. Man,
3 to 4 a day, man. And that's true. Like Lou Valentino do the same thing, and you see the other guy, a black conservative perspective. BCP, he do 6 or 7 every day, like, and that's a good way to put content, and also make it through, because this is a very saturated content. I mean,
Yep.
everybody wants to be star in on this thing. But man, I really appreciate, brother. I say goodbye to you. I see you again on Friday for another show. We're gonna have Matt Melvin on Friday. He's gonna give us some news of what's going on in Vermont, in that area, over there,
Yeah.
and what's going on with the politics, and the Senator Lily, I think it's Lily Tram, that she's running for Vermont. Let me put her up.
Hey,
Uh,
Matt was the other guy we had, from Vermont.
yeah, that's he's coming. Yeah,
Yeah, he's cool.
Lily. Sorry. Oh, man, I don't remember her name. I don't remember her name. But anyway, it will be Friday. We're gonna have another show on Friday. So yeah, we are trying to make more content, but we got a busy schedule. Robert works and I do my thing. But if you want to watch us every day around the same time, just let us know. We come up and we do our best to do a live stream, and you might see our reels coming up, and every day we do that, reels and
Yep.
conversation.
And just real quick before closing out, guys, if you know any Hispanic people that you would like to share right wing content, we're also starting up, or we've already started up a podcast that shows a bunch of reels, most likely than anything, more than anything, about Republican and conservative news outlooks. Because to be honest with you, a lot of those people that speak Spanish only, uh, you know, this is it's called Revolución de Derecha, which means revolution to the right. And you know, um, a lot of people don't know. They just think, oh, Republicans racist, and so we're just trying to help out, to combat against the left. And if you know somebody that's Hispanic, send them that way, and help us out grow, the left for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Once we get more people into the channel, we probably open a YouTube channel next week, and then we are uh, hopefully in the next month or two we'll be able to do live stream, and then you're gonna see us probably after this live stream. We probably close and open, the Revolución de Derecha, and then we do another live stream, but in Spanish, for those Spanish speaking people here in the States or abroad that want to see us, and want to get the news of what's going on in right here in America, North America. So, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for you guys watching and join us every other day, like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But if you want to see us every day, just let us know. Comment down
Yep.
below. Give us a comment. If you follow us on YouTube, please leave us a comment, or Facebook. Excuse me. Just shoot us a text. We always watching. We always reading our text, and let us know what you think, whether we do it every day or not. But if you want us to do every day, we do it every day for you guys. Well, I don't mind at all. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Robert, I see you on Friday. Well, I'm going to see you sooner, but yeah, I'll see you officially live stream on Friday. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next.